Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our weekly Kapihan sa Senado. And our guest for today is the Chairman of Committee on Public Order and Dangerous Drugs, Chairman of Committee on Accounts, at Chairman of Committee on Games and Amusement, Anti-Pork Senator. Let us all welcome Senator Panfilo Ping Lacson. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Sally. Maraming magandang umaga sa ating lahat. Saka advance Merry Christmas.
Thanks for the gifts.
Meron. Punta na ako.
Sir, about
Multa. Dahil na nakapunta ako gabi.
Magmumulta ka ngayon, sir?
Multa ako ngayon.
Yay!
Tapusin agad natin to.
Sir, about the budget, you're the Vice Chairman of Committee on Finance, you've been part of the BICAM panel, you signed the BICAM report, but yesterday you voted against the BICAM report on 2017 budget.
Yes, and hindi naman sorpresa yun doon sa mga kasamahan ko kasi during caucuses, kasi mahaba yung mga focus namin na marami actually. Dahil ang pinaka-contentious issue nga, yung 8.3 billion na nasa net, nando na sa ARM, tinanggal sa GAB, General Professor's Bill sa lower house, inilipat sa DPWH, pero yung implementation mananatili sa ARM. So, isa lang ang conclusion, and some congressmen talk to me, even the late hours of the night, nakikiusap kung pwedeng ibalik doon sa DPWH. And I stood my ground and sabi ko, hindi po pwede because we will all be violating the Organic Act. Whether or not iba yung interpretation, because I heard Congressman Carlo Nograles, yung chairman of Professors Committee, na wala raw binabiolate na Organic Act kung mag-i-implementa yung national government na mga projects sa ARM. Well, my lawyers, yung staff ko, legal staff, including some very prominent resource persons outside of my Senate staff, iba yung sinasabi. Ang essence ng autonomy is autonomy. And kung narinig nyo during the period of interpellations, tinanong ko kay Chairperson Loren, bakit walang district engineering offices ang DPWH sa ARM? Precisely because merong sariling DPWH yung ARM. And hindi pwedeng mapayagan, mag-encourage na doon sa principle o doon sa essence ng autonomy kung pakikialam pa ng national agency ang pag-implementa ng mga proyekto sa loob ng ARM.
So, are you disappointed with some of your colleagues? Kasi kahit po meron ng nakikita nila may violations sa Organic Act, and at the same time, meron ng S ruling against pork. Andun mo rin yung effort na makapag-insert mo ng pork?
Hindi naman, dahil pumayag naman sila, nung alam nila talagang titigasan ko yung sa 8.3, pumayag sila. In fact, during one of our caucuses, sila na yung nag-suggest na ilagay na lang sa SUC para pakinabangan sa free tuition ng mga deserving college students, yung mga scholars ng bayan, mga college scholars. So, mainam na rin yun dahil yun naman trust din na para maging, sabi ni Chairperson Loren, na para maging pro-people yung budget. So, ang attitude ko na lang, win some, lose some. I cannot have it all. Kasi yung 3.6, pareho rin, although sa net, nando na talaga sa DPWH yun. Hindi naman talaga budget ng ARM. Pero ang implementation, sa ARM pa rin. So, I was questioning that also. Sabi ko, alisin natin all together. But hindi na ako nag-insist kasi nga, magkakaroon ng stalemate, mas mahirap na yung magkaroon pa ng reenacted budget. So much so na ito yung first budget year under the present administration.
So sir, obviously meron pa rin pork sa 2017 budget. At kung meron, can it be questioned sa Supreme Court?
Yes, mako-question because declared unconstitutional, and hindi lang naman yung 8.3 saka yung 3.6. Marami pang items doon, and it will take us a day-long session para sabihin, ituro ko sa inyo lahat kung alin yung mga pork doon. But we were able to identify most of the insertions, most of the pork allocations doon sa 2017 budget. But nobody will admit it. And pag naked eye, pag tinignan nyo yung budget books, hindi nyo talaga makikita. Because the pork allocations are inserted and parang craftily hidden in many agencies. Pero we were able to spot most of them.
So,
Sino pwedeng mag-initiate para questionin sa Supreme Court yung mga nasisilip na pork sa 2017 budget?
Maski sinong taxpayer. Ako, I'm a taxpayer and I intend to question some of the provisions sa national budget natin for 2017. Supreme Court, because ang Supreme Court yung nag-declare na unconstitutional yung pork barrel. Diba? Wala nang pila. 2013 pa ito. Pero the point is, when can we ever learn? Di ba marami na nakasuhan at marami pang makakasuhan, marami pang pending na cases sa ombudsman. Meron nga kaming mga police na nakulong on account of, although hindi pa naman talaga proven guilty beyond reasonable doubt, but they're already in jail. And marami pang pending cases sa ombudsman involving legislators, both from the House and the Senate.
So sir, just in case questionin, sino magiging respondent? Senate and the House?
Yeah, of course, yung mag-implement the
DBM.
DBM. Kasi hindi naman pwedeng questionin unless maipas na ito into law.
So sir, do you think partly to be blamed ang executive? Bakit nagkakaroon pa rin ng pork? Kasi before na na-submit yung budget, I remember the budget secretary joke, no? Asked some congressmen to submit list of their pet
Yes,
projects.
initially merong admission, but during the DPCC, during the committee hearings, I asked that, during my interpellation, I confronted the members of the DPCC, yung DBM secretary in particular, and they denied it. Wala naman talaga nga amin, kasi nga unconstitutional.
Di ba sir, may parang form pa nga daw noon na ibinigay sa
Yes, may kopya ako ng pro forma na list ng mga submissions ng mga, at least ng mga congressmen. Sa Senate, wala. Pero I know also that some of my colleagues were able to insert through amendments. Of course, gray area to eh. There's a very thin line dividing amendments and insertions, or yung support. Kasi we are authorized naman talaga, kaya nga mayroong period of amendments to introduce our amendments. Now, we should leave it to their conscience, individual conscience, kung ano yung in-insert nila. Yun kasi may tinatawag tayong institutional amendments at saka yung personal amendments. Personal meaning, ito yung mga pet projects nila, but nasa sa kanila na yun kung talagang intended sa project or for something else, or partly for something else. You know what I mean when I say partly intended for something else.
So clarify ko lang, are you decided or just considering na questionin sa Supreme Court yung mga nakita niyong pork sa 2017?
I'm considering, depende, kasi hindi pa naman na ipapasa yung budget. And the President, this is the only piece of legislation that the President is authorized to do line item veto. Other bills, either it's vetoed in totality or not, or i-pass, approve it. Pero yung budget, authorize yung Presidente na mag-scrutinize and do some line item veto.
Sir, may estimate ka ba magkano umaabot yung nakikita niyong pork sa 2017 budget?
Malaki. Iba-ibang departments, pero it runs to hundreds of billions of pesos. And considering na 3.335, I want to see this as a test, sa akin, as far as I'm concerned, as a test to the political will of the President. Kasi lagi niya sasabi, stop corruption must stop. And this is the best test, as far as I'm concerned, para may pakita na talagang ayaw niya ng corruption. Because, alam naman natin na pagka-pork, aside, at worst, pwedeng ghost yung projects. And at best, 10% lang o 20% lang yung commission. And sino ba yung losers pagka nagkakaroon ng kitaan? And I have documents in my possession na wala pa nga yung, hindi pa pinag-uusapan yung commission, dokumento pa lang, kita ko na agad na meron ng kita.
So dito sir, masusubukan ng Pangulo kung talagang serious
Well,
siya.
as far as I'm concerned, gusto ko gusto mag-test ang Pangulo. Kung papayagan niyang umiral ulit yung pork barrel at mag-suffer yung mga government projects, kung hindi niya ibibito yung mga dapat ibito.
So, primarily, sa mga agencies nandun yung port?
Well,
Bukod doon sa
historically,
DPWH.
traditionally, DPWH, DSWD, DepEd, DOH, yan yung mga pinanggagalingan. Ito yung favorite parking places, parking areas na mga port. Remember, there was an issue against Secretary Pagiwalo, di ba? They threatened her na hindi mako-confirm because she was adamantly refusing yung magkaroon ng mga nakapark na mga items sa kanyang departamento, yung mga congressmen. And during the budget deliberation or the plenary debates ng DSWD, I asked her that. I even commended her. But noong nakapasa, tinanong ko siya in jest, na ano ba, pasado na ba tayo sa CA or okay na ba sa mga congressmen? And she just smiled. I really could not decipher kung ano ibig sabihin ng smile, pero I hope hindi siya bumigay na pumayag na rin siya. Kasi nakita ko rin yung pro forma list ng mga congressmen. Meron talagang items doon. And sometimes we cannot also blame the congressmen because stiff yung competition sa local eh. Mapag-iiwanan sila sa local politics ng mga governors who have the authority to implement. Yung mga congressmen, kung susundin natin yung talaga yung batas, they cannot implement because they are legislators. But somehow, especially kung magkalaban, hindi magkapartido yung local, yung mayor and governor, doon sa mga congressman sa district, naiiwanan sila sa boto. But there must be a way to resolve that issue, and it should not be through the national budget. It should not be by way of violating the Supreme Court ruling doon sa PDAP. Marami kaya nga meron na akong inintroduce na budget reform where the congressmen are participants anyway sa local government code at saka even sa administrative or executive order 292 yung administrative code, which is the IRR of the Constitution. Malinaw naman doon na sa local development councils at every level, kasama naman talaga yung district representatives sa pagpaplano ng development plan. Meaning, pwede silang doon sila makipag-debate kung ano ba yung mga projects na sa tingin nila makakatulong sa development ng kanilang districts. But not dito, and they should act as the representatives of their districts do sa local sa Congress para ipaglaban yung mga projects na in the first place they should have participated in the discussion. Kasi kung nag-discuss sila sa local development council, barangay, municipality, and provincial, so holistic na yung kanilang development plan kasama na yung input ng mga congressmen, and their constituents will be able to appreciate that they were part of the development plan, pati yung mga projects, pero they should not at all intervene in the implementation because ang implementation goes back to the executive branch. If we review the cycle, di ba, yung budget process, di ba, it starts with preparation. And yung congressmen are not barred from participating doon sa preparation. Kasi budget preparation is within the jurisdiction of the executive branch. And then it goes to Congress for what we call authorization, budget authorization by way of legislation. And then it goes back again to the executive for implementation or execution. And then, yung tinatawag na accountability, dyan na yung COA, dyan na yung oversight function. This is the budget process that is not being followed. And that's the reason why there's a big or great disconnect between what is needed and what are the priorities in the local scene doon sa ni-implement ng national. And there are hundreds, even thousands of stories na talagang yung dumarating na proyekto sa mga localities, hindi nila kailangan. But since na-insert o naipasok na ng mga congressmen at ito yung gusto ng national agencies, napipilitan tanggapin ng mga local government units yung mga proyekto na hindi nila kailangan at hindi nila priorities. Kaya tayo hindi umasenso, kaya rin walang inclusive growth kasi nga may disconnect eh. Hindi nasusunod yung budget cycle, yung budget process that is enshrined mismo sa Constitution because yung sabi ko nga yung EO 292 which is the administrative code, yun ang basis na yung Constitution and even the local government code.
So sir, during the BICAM, maraming congressman na naglabi sa inyo at hindi ba sumama yung loob dahil nasilip niyo talaga yung mga point?
During kasi nagkaroon pa ng parang interregnum, hindi naman interregnum, parang di ba nag-convene, mini BICAM, and then nag-usap-usap yung but every step of the way, in fairness to Senator Loren, she was consulting with us, with the members, and even the whole Senate. That's why we were engaged in regular caucuses doon sa lounge. And doon namin pinag-usapan, doon ko rin tinigasan. And one reason why Senator Gatchalian voted, I was not expecting that he would vote against the ratification. But I remember in one of the caucuses, he was asking me questions. Bakit, ano ba yung tungkol sa 8.3, tungkol sa 3.6, and other issues that I was raising during the caucus or caucuses. And then I briefed him because he asked to be briefed. Sabi niya, kung ganon, baka mag-dissent na rin ako. But I never expected that he would really cast a dissenting vote. Nagulat din ako kay Senator Soto, although he confided to me na kasi may mga submissions and sabi niya, hindi na lang siya magsasubmit. Meaning, na mga projects, ng list ng projects. And nahiya rin naman siya being the majority leader na bumoto against. So he just chose to abstain. But I wasn't expecting naman na I would overcome or in numbers, in the number of votes, yung ratification. Because babalik na naman kami sa BICAM noon pag hindi na ratify. Anyway, napirmahan na rin yung BICAM report.
Okay, Mayan.
Sir, sabi niyo meron pong mga na-insert kayo mga bullets niyo. So, mga senators din.
I did not bother looking into their insertions because that would be kasi parang masyadong offensive na on my part. Ganito kasi even if you insert some amendments, I was actually batting for an open, a transparent period of amendments. Meaning, sabi sa kay Senator Loren at saka to my colleagues, ba't hindi na natin pagdebatehan doon sa floor? Yung mga amendments, defend our individual amendments, and let's vote on each and every amendment. But then, I also see, also the sense, na kung gagawin namin yon, baka hindi matapos yung budget before the year end. Kaya dapat magsimula talaga kami mag-deliberate earlier, not during the fourth quarter. But when we are also helpless because the House historically transmits the General Appropriations Bill, yung House version, masyadong late na rin, mga bandang November na And mga give or take 2 months, 1.5 months na lang naiwan sa amin to deliberate. Remember, when we deliberate, we start with committee hearings. Matagal yun and there are so many agencies. So, mas maganda sana kung matransmit sa amin siguro mga third quarter so we'll have ample time to really scrutinize the budget and pag-usapan namin sa floor yung mga amendments. Nadidipit na kasi wala nang period of amendments, parang formalities na lang na dahil it's being done outside the session hall. Kanya-kanya submission na lang, hindi naman nagkakaalaman na kung ano yung sinambit ng sino. But ako, I was transparent because I made a list and my amendments were all institutional. And that's what I emphasized during in my explanation of vote. Na lahat institution, like I noticed that yung chalk allowance, pag sinabing chalk allowance or allowances, kasama yung eraser. Kaya nga nagtitinda yung mga maestra ng tusino, ng kung ano-ano, kasi wala silang pambili ng chalk. Saan sila kung wala silang chalk sa eskwelahan? Ang kanilang budget for chalk allowance, 1,500 pesos per year. So that's about 124, 125 pesos per month sa chalk allowance. So when I realized that, as we scrutinize the budget, sabi ko, baka pwedeng dagdagan natin ng maski 2,000. But then, ang 2,000 would translate into 1.4, 1.5 billion pesos. So sabi, ang inano ko lang, baka maski 1,000 pesos, so yun yung 770 million. Because ang number of teachers nasa mga 700,000 plus all over the country. So ngayon, ang chalk allowance, chalk, eraser, etc., mga basic needs sa classroom, nasa 2.5 na sila because of that amendment. So meron na sila ngayong 124 plus 83. So nasa mga 200 plus pesos per month, no? 200, yeah, basta 200 plus pesos per month. Hindi naman talaga malaki yung figure, overall yung total figure, pero pag hinati-hati mo sa number of teachers, ganun lang kaliit yun. So, how many chalks, pieces of chalks and erasers can you buy with 200 pesos? Pero malaking tulong din yun. Makakabawas din yun sa madadagdag na yung kita nila sa pagbebenta ng tusino. So, these are, ito yung mga priorities na dapat tinitingnan natin. Although, nandun lang yun naka-special provision. Pero dapat tinitingnan talaga natin kung if we intend to make our national budget pro-people, pro-education, minsan nawawala na yun Kasi ang nangyayari na lang, parang individual interest ang pumapasok. Hindi, merong project sa district ko Gusto ko magpagawa ng tulay. Gusto ko magpagawa ng kalsada. Hindi naman yun ang trabaho namin. Trabaho namin is legislation.
Okay, follow up na yan and then Eston.
So just to clarify, bago kayo mag-file ng complaint sa SU, you will still wait for the President if you will do something about the budget. If you will veto yung mga pork-like funds.
Yeah, kasi wala pa namang basis talaga na mag-file ng petition, if at all. Kasi wala pa naman General Appropriations Act na kinu-question.
Eston?
Sir, are you going to inform DBM or the Office of the President regarding these issues?
Given a chance, I want to discuss this with the President and point out the specific provisions that need to be reviewed and thoroughly studied and even vetoed.
So, dapat, sir, can you formalize para send a letter to...
Well, I cannot do that because we always act as a collegial body. For me to formally write the President, para namang inisulto ko naman may Senate President kami at saka collegial But given a chance, in an informal, say, conversation, I'm willing to bring all the materials and present to him. If kung may pagkakataon. Kung wala, di pasensya na lang.
Regarding the interpretation na hindi pa naman enacted yung budget. So wala pang, kasi ang sabi ng Supreme Court, yung post enactment yung fourth barrel. Nasa implementation. Paano magiging fourth barrel yun?
Yun nga, hindi nga masyadong, maraming nasisilip. Alam niyo naman, basta nagkaroon ng ruling, laging merong flexibility in the interpretation. Kaya nga sabi ko, let's leave it to the conscience of the individual legislators kung ano ba yung pinasok nila doon. Kikita pa sila doon. Kung hindi, wala naman sila pagkakakitaan doon, edi fine. Sila nakakaalam doon And meron ngang, look, kung halimbawang nakalusot yung 8.3 billion, that's 8.317 billion, plus 3.6 billion, divided by 8 legislative districts in ARM. Magkano bawat isa? 1.5 billion.
Adrian.
Sir, paano yung scenario ng mga nakikita natin kung sakaling ipipito ni Presidente, kapag tatanggalin lang yung pork or re-enactment ng budget?
Hindi. Pag pinito, that's it. Kung ano yung pirmahan niya, that's the final version of the General Appropriations Act. That becomes a law. Because the President is allowed, sabi ko nga, na mag-line item veto. Pwedeng mamili siya kung ano yung bibito niya. Pag binito niya, pwedeng ibalik yon sa yung original appropriation or maghanap ng ibang paglalagyan. Kasi ito yung principle ng check and balance, di ba? Yung checks and balances sa government. Dahil while kami nag-legislate, pwede rin kaming i-check ng Presidente na hindi, mali ito. Iba yung priorities because sila yung nag-lay down ng policies di ba? Yung direction ng development. So kami naman, dahil kami yung the so-called power of the purse, kami yung nag-legislate. But meron naman ding power of review yung presidente. Pwede naman namin i-override. But it seldom, or I don't think it has ever happened sa Philippine politics na na-override yung veto ng presidente.
Sino magbabalik din tinanggal na kung sakali nagtanggal sa line natin, sinong mag-authorize na magbabalik dun sa original?
Presidente.
Di ba i-cross
No.
yung power ng Congress?
No. Kasi merong veto power ng presidente. But we have the override. We can override the veto. Yun ang check and balance nga eh. So kung nakita niyang merong provision doon, binago ng Congress. Halimbawa, sa NEP, ito yung interpretation, binago ng Kongreso, kitang-kita na gagawin pork. At ang halimbawa, ang linya ng presidente, ayoko ng pork. So hanapin niya rin yung punasan yung mga pork at ilaline item veto. Ngayon, ibibigay niya yung veto message sa Congress at pwede naman i-override. Pero hindi pa nga nangyari yun.
Pero sa pag-override na yung 2/3 votes man.
Yeah, I think it takes 2/3. Yeah, 2/3 or 3/4. I'm not quite sure.
But it
Pero
never
sir,
happened before, sir.
Wala akong natatandaan, wala pa ako nababasa na merong na-override, especially sa budget.
Ito yan.
Kasi nga itong budget, this is a piece of legal instrument na give and take eh. Hindi ba ganyan na naging kalakaran na, sige, scratch my back, I'll scratch your back.
Pero sir, ready na kayo identify nyo na yung pwedeng line item?
As we were deliberating, even sa committee hearings, we continuously were scrutinizing the budget, I and my staff. And I have very competent staff na natuto na all these years to identify. Kasi madaling amoy yun eh. Madaling makita, madaling maamoy, at madaling mabasa kung nasaan yung mga pork. One example, di ba merong feasibility study, engineering design, that's 5.9 billion pesos. Nandun, heading. And then below it, merong 500 million, the same item, feasibility, lots in the central office of DPWH. Ano ibig sabihin nun? Ba't hindi nyo pag ginawang 6.4 billion na lang yun? Bakit nakahiwalay pa yung 500? Then there were items na kinwestiyon ko rin. Bakit nakalagay legislative district, second legislative district, so and so, nandun yung lugar. Teka muna, bakit meron bang legislative district yung DPWH, di ba in district engineering offices? There's only one reason for indicating na kung anong legislative district. Sabi ko, baka kasi magkawalaan. And they know that. Hindi na gumawa ng konting code. I-code mo man lang para ma-identify na, hoy, akin yan ha. Kasi may nangyayari before, nag-aagawan yung mga congressmen. Sabi niya, hindi, sa akin yan eh. Ako nag-insert yan eh, ba't kinukuha mo? So kaya nga para malinaw, niliwanag na. Second legislative district, ito yung province or city, first legislative. And I question that because obviously, pork yun. Di ba? Kasi sabi ko, wala namang legislative district ang DPWS na dapat mapagkilanlan. Dapat district engineering office. Doon nakalaz. So yun, those are things that, sabi ko nga, we can spend the whole day, I can point out to you, nasan yung mga pork to sa budget that are obviously pork.
Okay, Nintan.
Pero sir, nanggaling sa Malacanang yun, sir, di ba? Mas original net siya.
Sa original net, hindi namin nabalikan na yun eh, pero sa GAB namin nakita yung mga legislative districts. Galing sa House, of course, GAB eh. Kasi ano yan eh, yung net is the President's budget, that becomes GAB 1. Kasi yun na yung i-adapt ng House, pag-aaralan nila, yung President's budget, magiging GAB 1 yan eh, General Appropriations Bill 1. And then after they deliberate on the General Appropriations Bill number 1, which is also the net, nagiging General Appropriations Bill number 2. But for purposes of our interpolations here, we only identify the House version as GAB. Pero kung talagang tutusin, GAB 2 dapat ang nomenclature noon. And yun ang aming nagiging reference. Pagka nagdidebate kami, hindi na namin babalikan yun na. Although, we also use the NEP as a reference. Kasi para alam namin, ano ba na bago. Doon nga namin nakita yung 8.3 nando sa NEP na naka-lodge sa ARM. Fine. Pero pagdating sa GAB, nawala doon sa ARM, tinanggal, nilagay sa DPWH. Fine pa rin. kung ang implementation outside of the armed area. Meaning, hindi na nakita or as a matter of policy, sa pag-aaral nila, hindi na kailangan ng arm yung 8.3, excess na. So alisin mo, ilagay sa DPWS, pero the project should be implemented somewhere else. Ang problema, wala nang pinagbago. Ang implementation sa ARM pa rin. Inalis lang sa ARM, nilagay sa DPWH. Why? Ang kausap DPWH. At saka ang gusto contractor, hindi contractor ng ARM, contractor ng national.
So nag-originate talaga sir sa house yung mga board, not from Malacanang or meron din?
May mga prior submissions. Inamin naman ito na merong 80 million each yung congressmen. But, 80 million is 80 million times 293. And some congressmen, and I know, hindi lang naman 80 million. Merong 500. Meron pa mga abot pa ng billion. Depende.
Sir, yung prior submissions, humingi sila sa congressman, tapos yung congressman.
Nagsabit sa DBM.
Okay. And
This was also practiced during former President Aquino's time. Nagsasabit na sila sa balay ng mga projects. At the time, I think they were submitting 70 million pesos each. Ito rin naman talaga yung dating pinag, di ba? 70 million sa Senate, 200 million, sa House, 70 million. But some are smarter than the others. And some are more connected than the others. And that's the reason why some are getting more than 70 million or 80 million. And some are even getting billions in projects. Yun.
Okay, other issue na tayo. Okay, on Espinosa killing. Sir, can you tell us, pwede mo ba kabibigyan na idea nila naman yung primarily na findings and recommendations sa inyong committee report on Espinosa killings?
Well, isa lang naman yung magiging findings. Ito, anticlimactic na. Talagang premeditated yung pagkapatay kay Mayor Espinosa. And we asked the NBI to submit, just to complete our legislative inquiry, pinagsabit na namin yung NBI ng kanilang investigation report. That is now the basis of a preliminary investigation that will commence on December 20. And I asked Secretary Gire, how fast can you resolve the investigation, yung meaning resolution of the case. Sabi niya, talagang without sacrificing due process, of course entitled yung mga respondents, but gagawin niya talaga, bibilisan niya. And as of yesterday, he said that there was no instruction from the President to go slow on Marcos and company. That's why he's proceeding the way he should proceed. He has appointed already a panel of prosecutors, and then it will follow the usual. But sabi niya, dahil may urgency yung issue altogether, kailangan mabilisan yung preliminary investigation.
So, sir, kahit dinipensa ng Pangulo sila Marcos, walang ganong
Well, ang
directive?
interpretation niya kasi, and that's also my interpretation, hindi naman address kina Marcos yung sinabi niyang, I will protect you, na hindi ko yung payagang makulong. Remember earlier on, even during the campaign and even after he won, lagi niya sinasabi, I will not allow you to, I will protect you, just do your job. And I think when yun lang mahirap we have a president that everything he opens his mouth, it's subject to interpretation, and it's subject to so many interpretations. Pagka critical sa presidente, negative interpretation. Pagka naman supporter ng presidente, masyadong positive yung interpretation.
Okay, before Joyce.
Yeah.
Sir, clear yung motive why they killed Mayor Espinosa? Ano yung findings nito?
Hindi klaro masyado yung motive. Even the NBI was not able to establish the motive. Ang motive naman kasi, importante lang yan, at the initial phase of the investigation, as a guide to the investigator, para makasiruin ka ng suspect. Ganito kasi, pag may nangyaring crime, ang una mo agad aalamin, sino may instrument, sino may opportunity, sino may motive. Tatlo yun. So pagka na-determine mo kung sino yung may opportunity to commit a crime, sino yung may instrument or capability to commit a crime, at sino yung may motive, more or less, masisiruin mo kung sino yung suspect. Pero the situation is beyond that already because klaro naman yung mga physical evidence like the forensic, yung trajectory ng bala, lahat, pati testimonial evidence, documentary evidence, nagpapakita na talagang, so immaterial na rin yung motive. Although, to satisfy our curiosity, para makumpleto lang yung frame of mind natin, yung analysis natin, gusto pa rin natin malaman yung motive, di ba?
Okay, Joyce. And then Macon, and then Tara.
Sir, sabi niyo wala nang hearing. I thought nabanggit po ninyo na iimbitahan ulit si Dayan kasi meron pa siyang sasabihin na guest.
Kung wala nang major development, kasi sa ngayon wala namang bagong development sa part ni Dayan. Kaya lang kami interesado kay Dayan. Not to humiliate or put on the spot Senator De Lima. But, you know, what if merong possibility na nagkaroon ng connection si Dayan nung umiikot sila sa... That's precisely the reason why we asked him that question. After he was cited for contempt, kinausap namin siya. I asked him, nakaikot pa kayo sa Leyte in 2015. And he remembered, sabi niya, nakapunta kami dyan upon invitation of local politicians. So I was looking at although napaka-remote yung possibility, but still there's that possibility na baka nagkaroon ng connection yung Espinosa with Senator De Lima when he was still moving around the Leyte area. So ano yung naging engagement? Ano yung naging connection? Would it warrant yung allegation niya, yung accusation na she received money through Dayan from Espinosa? Yun ang gusto ko sana establish para makumpleto lang yung picture na hindi limited yung motive doon sa grupo ni Marcos. So ang next thrust of my inquiry sana kung ma-establish na nagkaroon ng malalim na connection sina Senator De Lima with the Espinosas, baka naman may connection din sila kay Marcos. Pero sabi ko, that's very remote, that's too far out. But as instinct ko yun, as an investigator, I want to see the whole picture. Although klaro na pinatay talaga si Espinosa, premeditated talaga yung nangyaring murder. So that's a foregone conclusion on our part, on the part of the NBI, and on the part of those who witnessed all this investigation.
Okay, pero dun sa private conversation niyo, sir, with Dayan, wala kayong established na connection ng De Lima sa Espinosa?
He was grappling with yung ano yung marirecall niya eh. Kaya sabi namin, sige, magpahinga ka na muna. And then when the time comes na talagang ma-refresh yung memory mo, anyway, si Santo Pacquiao just text away. Sila yung magka-textmate eh. So sabihin mo na lang when you're ready to talk to us again, and then we'll talk to you.
Okay, Macon, and then Tara, and then Nika.
Sir, do you believe that this go slow order of the President would finally eradicate insinuations that the President has been protecting Marcos?
Sa akin, what will happen sa preliminary investigation will determine kung talagang totoo o diretso yung sinabi ng Presidente na he wanted or he wants to protect Marcos and company. Kapag nagbago ang hihip ng hangin, which I think it will not, na biglang lack of probable cause, dinispis ng DOJ yung kaso against Marcos, then iba na yung naging usapan. Meaning, totoo pala yung sinasabi niya na he will protect Marcos no matter what. But it's unlikely to happen because ilang beses ko tinanong si Secretary Aguirre. Kasi kung meron ganon, NBI pa lang dapat, wala nang filings na ganon. Sinabi na sana, go slow, tago niyo yung ibang ebidensya. Pero mas lalo pa nga naging klaro yung ebidensya sa investigation ng NBI.
Okay, Tara.
Sir, what are your recommendations as regards legislation?
Marami. Yung IAS needs some improvement. Tapos yung anti-war tapping to enhance the capability of the law enforcement. Tapos, I suggested to them, although this doesn't need legislation, yung composite task force to address yung DUIs only, focus on DUIs. As of December 12, 3,671 o 3,671 yung DUIs. That's one DUI to, ang dami, napakarami, 36. And then, so far, ang na-solve nila, meaning na-cleared na sa investigation, 785. So parang lumalabas ngayon, 21.4% ang kanilang solution rate. And I told them that's too low for a murder solution rate. And then I told them to classify further. Ilan yung sa DUI, ilan yung drug related, ilan yung hindi. Kasi marami rin yung inabandon, iba yung motive. So they promised to submit ASAP yung mga datos na kailangan. Like yung mga may karatula na wag tularan, drug pusher ako. Ilan ba doon yung talagang drug pushers kasi nasa OB? Ilan naman doon yung nilagyan ng karatula pero wala sa OB at wala sila makita motive na drug related yung pagka vigilante style killing. Marami, at least 12 classifications ang pinaano ko sa kanila para ma-analyze namin mabuti kung ilan talaga yung drug related na cases among those reported as death under investigation.
Follow up tanan.
Sir, follow up lang, yung ganun level haven't been PNP before. Yung ganun volume within 6 months, how would you describe that? The DUI?
Well, they're saying na wala namang pinagkaiba doon sa mga previous administrations. But I told them, iba yung situation ngayon because there's so much pronouncement from the President to go after or to go hard against drug peddlers and drug users. Kaya na-highlight ngayon na napakarami. And don't argue with media, don't argue with the people, don't argue with us na pareho lang naman na nangyayari mga death under investigation during the previous administrations because hindi magandang argument yon. You must do something. You must be proactive. Hindi yung magre-react na lang kayo tuwing merong kino-question kayo na maraming DUI. And the usual response or the usual justification, hindi lang naman ngayon ganyan karami. Pagbalikan daw yung statistics noong during GMA's administration, Pinoy's administration, marami rin. Pero sabi ko, hindi nalilipad yung ganong argument na that's still a police problem, that's still a visionary problem that they must do something about.
Sino
Okay.
kaya yan, sir?
Nympha, Estong, and then Cecil.
Sir, anong major difference sir nung report ng NBI dun sa inyong findings?
May mga mas exhaustive yung kanila. For example, yung time of entry, no? Na sa timeline nung sa briefing ni Marcos, sinabi niya 4:30. Pero tumawag sila sa SOCA 3:49. Sa NBI, they were able to establish na talaga ang entry point nila sa gate nung bye-bye sa provincial jail 3:05 or 3:06 based on the CCTV na nandun sa DPWH building near the bye-bye sa provincial jail. Merong time doon, nakalag yung time na 3:06, 3:05. So there's nothing wrong, there's nothing anomalous after all because remember that was our smoking gun do sa Senate inquiry. But sa NBI, talagang pumasok sila and then yung tawag do sa RTOC, do sa Tactical Operations Center at saka sa SOCO much later than the time that they entered the premises.
Tama naman pala sila.
Yes. Pero ang catch naman doon, bakit deliberately sinabi ni Marcos na 4:30? Iba naman yung motive because there's a MOA, there's an agreement between law enforcement agencies, particularly PIDEA. Any drug-related operations na iko-conduct ng PNP or any law enforcement officer must be coordinated with PIDEA prior to jump off. So, ang ginawa ni Marcos and company, they did not coordinate with PIDEA. They coordinated around 4 o'clock. So, in-adjust niya ngayon yung time of entry para maipanabas na nakakomply sila doon sa MOA, sa Memorandum of Agreement na nag-coordinate kami bago kami nag-jump off o bago kami pumasok. Yun naman ang naging motive. So, still, masama pa rin. Sabi ko nga, malebolin pa rin yung kanyang yung takbo ng isip na kaya niya adjust doon sa kaya I remember when he was trying to correct himself, sinabi niya 3:05 because he was already aware at that time na merong nakuha yung NBI na na CCTV na may nakalag na time na 3:05, 3:06 na they enter.
So how about the supposedly informant na may barrel drugs?
Yeah, that's another thing, Klaro yun na he was 130 kilometers away from Baybay sa provincial jail. that has been clearly established not only through testimonies of witnesses, but yung, kasi nagtatrabaho ito parang sa utility ito So, ang bandy clock nila, biometric. So, every time he would report for work, yung thumbprint niya yung kinakatch. And at that particular day, yung November 5, di ba? Nandun siya sa Tacloban because he reported for work. So, physical impossibility, it was physically impossible for him to be in Baybay. Hindi November 5, October 28, when he said in his deposition, in his affidavit, na nandun siya mismo sa loob ng jail at na-witness siya nagbabalot, nagpapak ng shabu, sina Mayor, sina Raul Yap.
Sir, na-establish ba ng NBI kung may nag-order kina Marcos to kill Mayor Espinosa?
Hindi rin nila na-establish yun. Parang it's all, yung sa level lang nila Marcos. So.
Esto?
Balikan ko lang yung motive, sir. Pag sinabi nyo kanina premeditated murder, paano may mapapatunayan yung premeditated murder kung walang motive? Pwede ba yun?
Yeah, premeditated meaning, bago sila pumunta doon, alam nila papatayin na nila Pinagplanuhan.
Pwede ba nilang mapatunayan natin sa korte?
Of course, kasi nga, nag-apply ng search warrant, nag-form ng team. Tapos lahat yon, pati yung perjurious nga yung di ba? The informant committed perjury. Kaya premeditated, kasi pinlano mo na Kaya nga premeditated. Kasi hindi naman ito instantly, pumunta ka doon, tapos pinatay mo. Parang using superior force. Na-establish yung premeditation because, naka-layout yung foundation para doon sa operation Kaya nga may search warrant
Sir, are you convinced na sa level lang nila Marcos, walang higher than na nag-utos?
As of now, based on the evidence and based on the information so far gathered, yes. Mukhang level lang nila.
Ano connection dito, sir? How not to commit a murder 101?
Kasi remember before Espinosa, meron pang 2 or 3 killings And the NBI, saka yung PNP, are looking into those murders. Yung kay Alvarez, kay Balagbis, saka yung kina PCI Son. And magkakaroon dyan ng conclusion.
Okay, Cecil and then Mean.
Sir, part ba ng recommendation nyo is kasuhan sila Marcos?
Overtaken by events. Siguro, probably yung part ng recommendation would be to dig more deeply pa to establish other possible baka kung may makita kami na basis for making such recommendation. But mostly, the recommendation is yung maging proactive yung police doon sa mga ganong incidents like yung IAS should be given more power, authority to address those kinds of issues. Kasi ang nangyayari, saka ma-define yung level of authority, yung disciplinary authority ng Chief PNP, Regional Director, heads ng mga NSUs, National Support Units, and other levels ng authority.
So part, sir, ng recommendation yung accountability.
Accountability, yes.
CID.
And command responsibility also.
Okay, Mean.
Sir, hindi lumabas yung drug money as motivation nila Marcos. Baka pinoprotect na yung mga sarili nila. Kasi sabi ni Kerwin, nakakatanggap sila larada.
More speculative than evidentiary yung kung may conclusion na gano'n, hindi supported by evidence. Well, circumstantial probably. Kasi yung circumstances, because Kerwin admitted that he was giving money to some members of the CIDGA. Tapos yung tatay niya knowledgeable din doon sa so circumstantial.
Sir, ano magiging treatment niyo dun sa committee report regarding dun sa expose that Senator De Lima accepted money from Kerwin Espinosa?
That surely that will be mentioned kasi kasama sa hearing lumabas na may connection between Kerwin and hindi naman na-rebut kasi yun kasi flat denial yung kay Senator De Lima. She did not provide details and Dayan already corrected himself na hindi 2013 yung nandun sila sa Baguio but 2015. So nag-jive na yung
So sir, na-mention lang yun sa committee report, walang conclusion, recommendation, or findings din sa
we'll see. We are still processing, we're still looking at the documents, and we'll find out kung ano pa yung pwedeng incorporate sa report relative to the documents and the testimonies na nangyari sa legislative inquiry.
Okay, Nympha.
Yung lang, sa health ni Presidente, lagi niya sinasabi hindi niya matatapos ang term.
Yung health is always an individual responsibility, but it is also a national concern. After all, may mandate naman siya, whether we voted for him or not. He enjoys the mandate of the majority of those who voted. That's why he's the president. And it should be a national concern that the president should be healthy or not healthy or sick. But it is a personal responsibility of the person, of the individual concerned, kasi health niya yun eh. Maski sabihin pang meron tao na gusto mamatay, hindi naman kapanipaniwala, wala namang gusto mamatay talaga eh. We can only be prepared to die, but all of us don't want to die.
Pero sir, is it appropriate or may implication yung he keeps on telling na baka hindi niya matapos yung term niya, wala bang, baka,
Well,
yung
alam mo,
uncertainty.
ang masama kasi doon, yung nagkakaroon ng uncertainty, tapos although clear naman yung ating rule sa Constitution sa succession, so we shouldn't be worried na kung may mangyari sa presidente, magkakaroon tayo ng hiatus o kaya may vacuum ng leadership. But then, sabi ko nga, siya yung binoto and he should be there until the end of his term. Pero kung nagkakaroon ng mga statements na dahil lumabas pa yung issue, baka may sakit, tapos baka hindi makatapos, ano yung premonition. So we should also be worried. Di ba?
Pero sir, hindi ba dapat i-disclose din niya yung medical record?
He should. Because lumabas na nga yun at saka nagpahiwatig pa siya ng gano'n, all the more that we should, the public should be informed. Ano ba yung state of health of the president? Kasi kung meron talagang sakit, sabihin talaga na kung ano yung ailment.
Under the Constitution, obligation niya,
Yeah.
tama sir, di ba?
Right.
Ninyo and then Nympha.
Sir, going back to your report, pwede bang gamitin yun sa ethics committee against Senator Lacson?
No, because everything happened. Yung supposed culpability, yung possible culpability dahil doon kay Kerwin, nangyari naman yun before she became senator. So, walang jurisdiction kasi during incumbency lang yung jurisdiction ng... Anyway, an ethics complaint has been filed by the House leadership na yun, nangyari when she was already senator. So, yun ang may jurisdiction.
Pero sir, the mere fact na sinasabi yung money is ginamit during campaign or election.
Kahit na, hindi pa siya senador eh. Klaro kasi yung rules ng ethics na kailangan na-commit yung alleged misdemeanor nung incumbent siyang senador.
Nympha.
Sir, sorry pa, ano ko lang. Sir, sa health ng Presidente, ano yung, ang kailangan yung disclose medical records?
Yung state of health ng presidente. Kasi para...
Not medical records.
Ha?
Not medical records. Oh, medical records.
Yun, pag sinabi state of health, sama-sama yun eh, di ba? Kaya nga kailangan may medical bulletin pa nga po.
Sir, yun ba yung reason bakit gusto nang maibigay si Marcos as vice president?
Ha? Sorry.
Intriga. Anyway, says yun.
Sir, we'd like to get your reaction on the pronouncement or confession of the president saying he killed himself, some drug
Well,
suspects.
I'm sure pagka tinanong mo pa siya, pagka pinurso mo yung question doon sa kanyang statement, sasabihin niya, lumaban eh. So, it is the right of any person to defend himself, di ba? So, hindi naman kompleto ko niya yung statement eh. I killed. I personally killed. Eh, hindi pa naman kompleto eh. Pagka tinanong mo siya sa details, I'm sure sasabihin niya na, yun yung instance na lumaban eh. Alangan naman magpauna pa ako.
Sabi ni Senator Lima, sir, impeachable. Ganun din ang sabi ni Senator Gordon. What do you think?
Ewan ko kasi merong guidelines sa impeachment eh, kung ano yung mga basis. First, nung sinabi niyang he killed somebody, wala naman detail sino yun. Maski halimbawang ordinary na tao, sinabing may pinatay ako, walang corpus eh, di ba? Yung corpus delicti, wala naman, nasaan yung pinatay? Saan ba? Pag kumarecover yun, tapos nakita yung circumstances ng sinabi niyang kung paano pinatay, nagtama doon sa, limbawa, sa medico-legal examination, tama pala na sinabi niya, binulot sa ulo. Nung na-recover, may tama sa ulo. Tapos pinatay ko siya doon sa lugar, sa may Turil. Tapos na-recover doon sa may Turil. Pwede yun na kasuhan siya ng murder. Diba? Pero sinabi nila may pinatay ako. Eh, maski sino sa atin, maski si Estong, sabi niya, may pinatay ako kahapon. Nasaan yung pinatay mo? Sino yon? Saka paano mo pinatay? Hindi ganun ka, no? Statements like that, no? Parang, yun ang mahirap pag walang manuscript, pag nag-i-speech. And the President, talagang may aversion siya. So na nga, tinapon pa yung kanyang manuscript. And sometimes when you speak, even for politicians, pag nagsalita, hindi alam kung kailan tatapusin. Pag wala manuscript.
Hindi ba nakaka-confuse mo yung mga statements ng Pangulo? Recently, he said he's not a killer. And then eventually, he confessed that he killed some drug suspect.
Well, in due time, I think we'll get used to it. Ako slowly, parang nakaka-adapt ako na pag may sinabi siya, teka muna, sinabi niya, kausap yung Diyos. Nung may nag-react, eh wala, pare-pare na tayong buwang kasi naniwala kayo sa akin. Ngayon, magko-comment ka ba kaagad pag nagsalita ang Pangulo? Baka.
Pero sir, kailangan tayo na lang ang masanay. Shouldn't he adjust?
Tayo mag-a-adjust.
Well, it so happens na siya yung presidente. Diba? Maski pa paano, kasi kung hindi siya presidente at nagsasalita siya, we won't mind him eh.
So sir, can you just say...
Kung magsalita ba si Nino, nang halimbawa, sabihin niya, kinausap siya ng Diyos, may magre-react ba sa atin? Sino? Silang dalawa lang.
Pero sir, kung magtutuloy-tuloy yung ganong attitude, paano, way of...
Well, sabi nga, in due time, we'll be able to adjust. Unless siya yung mag-adjust. But we cannot tell him to adjust to all of us. Eh.
Pero makakasira yun sa credibility ng Pangulo, sir.
Kami, meron kami sa sa command. Yung mga personnel, yung mga sundalo, sila dapat mag-adjust sa commander. Of course, you can counter na hindi naman siya commander eh. Pero siya yung head ng bansa, siya yung chief executive. Mas may karapatan na siya na mag-adjust sa kanya yung mga Pilipino kasi siya pa yung mag-adjust. Parang tayo na lang mag-discern. I'm not defending him kasi ako I also criticize him. Pagka minsan naiinis na rin ako. Pero pagka parang ganyan na siya. And I don't think he will ever metamorphose into a statesman Kasi sinabi niya, di ba, give me some time, I will metamorphose. But as things are shaping up, wala na. Yeah. Baka at the end of his term, baka tayo lahat gano'n na.
Pabilisan na natin dahil babawi si sir sa hindi pa ganyan ng party
Pero sir,
kagabi.
sir,
Hindi.
the president, can he just say and confess that I killed drug suspects without being accountable for what he say? Hindi kayo, hindi nyo pwede sabihin.
Well, criminally liable kung merong details. And nagtugma doon sa sinasabi niya na crime na kinumit niya. Absent maski sabi mong nagyabang na may pinatay, pagkatapos wala naman talagang hindi naman complainant. Yung circumstances kung paano pumatay, saan pinatay, sana man lang tumugma sa sinabi niya, ma-recover yung body of the crime, edi we have a case. Kung wala, di wala.
Okay, sir.
Sir, then what do you think of that statement from the president? I mean, coming from him,
One of the many statements that we heard from him na yun nga na, ang difference, he is president and he shouldn't be taken lightly, di ba? May kasabi nga, every time the president speaks, that's policy. That's a policy statement. So,
hindi self-distraction. Kasi sinasabi ng iba, self-distraction yung
well,
ganung
if you look at the numbers, di ba merong mga regular surveys na ginagawa, di ba? SWS, Fox Asia. Well, mataas. Pero in relation to previous surveys, merong dip, di ba? So they should also watch out for yung hindi lang yung present survey, yung current. They should look at it in relation to past surveys. Before, I remember, parang 2% lang yung ayaw sa kanya eh.
92.
Ngayon, yeah, 92 and 8%, no, 8% undecided pa eh. Parang walang against eh. But then now, if you, parang medyo lumaki na, sa Mindanao, especially, nag-dip na siya ng, 11 points. So they should look at, they should be watchful. Kasi and they should adjust. Ito yung time na dapat siya yung mag-adjust sa mga pronouncements, sa mga ginagawa. Otherwise, baka magtuloy-tuloy yung dip ng trust at saka yung approval sa kanya ng mga Pilipino, then he may have a serious problem.
Sir, would you have any info kung tuloy nga or hindi yung visit ng UN Special Rapporteur? Because
I have no information. Ang information is as good as your information na may requirements and ayaw nung rapporteur mag-comply sa requirements, so still may.
So yung controversy sa Bureau of Immigration, na-involve yung lang immigration officials.
Well, that's an investigation, but ako, from a layman, from an observer, there's no logical reason for me to believe yung explanation ng dalawang associate commissioners. Masyadong insult to the intelligence. You have the money with you for 10 days, tapos sinibak-sibak nyo na, tapos meron pa palang operation. I want, as an investigator, former investigator, I won't buy that.
So palusot na lang yun, sir.
Clearly. And maski si Secretary G rin, hindi naman naniniwala, kaya tinanggal niya in spite of being closely associated with them.
Okay, last
Okay.
na. So last na lang. So
Last.
ano yung assessment mo sa performance ng Senate sa first 6 months under...
Well, I think we had a good 6 months, considering that we were engrossed in the budget deliberation. Meron pa rin mga production na nangyari. Marami nakasalang na mga bills na madali na maipasa next year, early next year. Dahil na-sponsor na, nasa floor. Some are going through interpellations and so forth and so on. And I just hope when we return in January, siguro mga 1-2 months, give or take, baka may maipasa na mga importanteng pieces of legislation.
So understandable, sir, kasi ang minority parang sinabing dalawa lang yung naipasa yung postponement ng barangay at SK elections at yung 2017 budget.
Yeah, pero yun nga dahil nga masyado kaming na-focus sa budget, halos wala na kaming ginagawa eh. Remember, morning hanggang gabi yung deliberation. So wala na, talagang walang lalakad na legislation other than the budget. So I think, fairly, and this is an objective assessment, we did well itong last 6 months na. Sige.
Yung sa immigration, sir, yung dalawang nagkeda ng pera,
Siguro nagte-text ka kanina. Re-reply na lang natin.
pero sir, hindi ka panipaniwala ba yung katwira nila na nag-i-entrap?
Sinabi ko kanina na hindi. From an investigator's point of view, hindi. There's no logical reason for me to believe yung kanilang sinasabi.
Tama
That's a
lang
lot.
kasi baka sila.
Yeah, that's a lot of bull. Tama na. Lot of bull.
Niya gets.
Bulldog.
No
Okay
more?
na. No more.
With that,
Thank you.
thank you very much, Senator
Yeah.
Lacson, and Merry Christmas to you, sir.
Ako, I will not decide anymore kung anong gagawin. I have here, coming from my own pocket, 50,000 ito. Bahala na kayo kung anong gagawin nyo rito. I-raffle ninyo. Kasi kung ako pa magra-raffle, magagalit pa sa akin yung hindi mananalo. Bibigay ko to kay Sally. Bahala na kayo kung anong gawin nyo dyan. Multa ko yan dahil hindi ako nakarating kagabi. Salamat.
Sally, para tayo dyan.
Bahala na kayo.